Well, given what we just heard from you, is you got a little cold or something like that going on, Steph?
Yeah, I'll be all right though. I just need a day to hopefully kick it to the curve and get back to full strength. But it's good enough to get through the night, but it's getting worse. So I don't want to stay too close or far away from y'all.
I know you always want to play, but with a back-to-back, is that in question at this point?
Yeah, obviously it would take a lot for me not to play, but the way it's going and how the schedule has been and just how I feel, I mean, obviously we'll monitor it to see how it goes, but I want to be 100% for the long term.
You felt it during the game?
A couple of days now. After the Milwaukee, Indiana situation, so like I said, it was just trying to dig deep, especially in the second half, to get through the game, knowing Jimmy was out too, and yeah, it was a battle out there, but thankfully we got it done.
How have those conversations with Rick and Steve and Mike, just in terms of like when to pick spots to maybe rest and how to manage back-to-backs, how have those conversations compared to previous years?
We've only had one, so a lot of it is kind of the standard, understanding how the schedule's going, how we're feeling physically, mentally, some of the data that they're pulling from games and how we're moving, the speed of the game and all that type stuff. So we only had the one conversation yesterday, and some clarity came out of it just in terms of, you know, how we're trying to get through, especially this next couple of weeks, because it's pretty dense and we're all over the place. But it's not rocket science, really. It's just if you're able to play. If something pops up, a sickness or, you know, something that's alien to Jimmy's, I think it was his back. Was it? Like, you want to be cautious, but we're trying to, you know, build momentum. That's why those 2 games on the road hurt a little bit, but we're all just collaborating.
Steph, we talked a lot about focus and execution after these first few games. Why do you think that has been such a struggle? And even tonight, it was like you guys are rolling, and then it slowed down a little bit in the third, and then you had to find your way in the fourth.
We would like to make everything easy, or make it look easy in the sense of winning games like this. And obviously, we came out the first half strong, built a big lead in the first. You know, they made a run. We responded. No matter what lineup was out there, we always had an answer. It got a little, you know, dicey in that fourth quarter, but that's just because they're a talented team in the sense of how they play, fast-paced. D-Book is unreal, you know. Scorer and playmaker. If they're making threes, it's tough, and they switch 1 through 5. I think our last 3 games, including tonight, is just an understanding of how different teams are playing in today's NBA and being, you know, able to adjust to it. And thankfully, we built up a big enough lead that through some of those droughts, we still had some cushion. So we're still getting better. I think that's the biggest thing. We're not where we want to be, but we're trying to win through the learning curves.
Do you feel like your play's been impacted by the sickness?
Tonight, the second half, Tank was on E. I'm not blaming the air ball on that. But just like I said, just trying to dig through it and get to the finish line and get a win and keep it moving.
How soon do you have to officially decide on tomorrow? I mean, that sounds like you guys.
I mean, pretty quick. But I'm gonna go see the docs right now and see what's going on.
I'm okay if you want to go that off.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, we just talked to a sniffling and coughing Steph Curry. How much do you think that's affected him? He said for a couple of days, and could you see it affecting him tonight?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's wiped out right now. So I don't care what the doctors say. We gotta get him some rest. So I'll make the decision right now. He's not going to play tomorrow. He needs some rest. He's been sick. All the travel, everything, it's just caught up to him. So hopefully, you know, getting some rest, and hopefully he'll be ready to go for Denver.
And Jimmy, was that precautionary, or was that something that's happened again?
Yeah, I mean, he was questionable for a reason. He felt like he could go, then he tweaked it a little bit, so we took him out. So he's questionable for tomorrow as well.
And
We'll see. We'll see. It's we have to assess where he is as well, but we've got a great challenge ahead to go try to win a game shorthanded, and I'm excited for all the guys who are going to be playing tomorrow.
You were talking pregame about, you do have to take another look at how you approached these guys. Obviously, it was early season. Maybe the Portland game was the one time, but was just Steph's energy level part of the initiative of that conversation? Like, wait a minute, like I can tell there's something going on.
Yeah, I could tell on the road trip that all three of those guys looked tired. I mentioned it's a very unusual schedule to start the year, and none of them had missed a game, and I think they just ran into a little bit of a wall. And obviously, Steph came down with the illness, so we'll get through it and we'll be fine. But it's just a really tough part of the schedule, and we'll do the smart thing.
You got Pat Spencer in there in a little kind of a dead period, end of the second quarter. This could be seeing these players come in, not having major roles and contributing like that. Could you find a lift from something like that from not just
sure.
Spencer, but several guys?
I thought the bench was great. I mean, Moses was the player of the game tonight. His defense on Booker and his shooting, he was fantastic. He's just found his groove now, after missing most of training camp with the ankle. So it was a tough start to the season for him, mainly because, we just found a different starting lineup and a different rotation while he was out, and we were doing pretty well. But he's forcing his way back into the mix for sure. And then Quinten was great. But I thought the bench, Buddy, Pat, Trace in the first half really took control of the game. It was fun to watch.
Steve, to follow up on Moses, what do you see in his shot? I mean, he seems more decisive maybe. And how much will you need him? I mean, if Jimmy is out for any stretch and without Steph scoring tomorrow night, it would seem like you need him to keep producing.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
I mean, there's a reason he was our starter last year, the last 30 games after we made the trade. His on-ball defense combined with his shooting and toughness, the way he crashes the offensive glass. So it's great to see Mo out there. And we're going to need everybody. Tomorrow will be a night where, we'll get Will Richard in the game. We'll get Guy in the game. We need those high-energy guys throughout the season. I thought that group changed the game in Indianapolis the other night. Guy and Moses. So it's fun to see when the bench guys play like that. And we're going to need everybody. It's a long season, but we have a lot of depth, and we're going to use it.
Steve, you went to Trace in the first quarter after 2 straight DNPs. What did you think about him, and especially the way that him and QP kind of balance each other out with their differing skill sets?
Yeah, well, I mean, we wanted to get Trace in when Draymond was out for the rim protection and defense in the paint. He was a real presence, diving to the rim, offensive rebounding. It was just fun to watch Trace be that assertive and really just being aggressive in the paint, keeping balls alive, and then his defense was fantastic. So especially when Draymond is out, we're really going to need Trace.
Brandon's been really effective off the ball with Jimmy and Steph, but if those two don't play tomorrow, what do you expect to see from him in Sacramento? More on-ball responsibility or
BP?
BP, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he'll for sure have a lot of on-ball responsibility. So will J.K., Pat, as well. So we'll share those duties. And like I said, I'm excited. These are games that are great opportunities for a lot of guys.
No Gary tonight, Steve. Was he having any health issue, or just the way it broke tonight?
Just the way it broke. I mean, we played 11 guys. It's hard to play more than 10, and it's nothing that Gary has done. It's just we've got a lot of guys, and we went a different direction tonight. He's still going to play a big role this year.
Did you get any in-game word on Jimmy? I mean, he did seem a little hobbled out there, but just did the back. You guys gave him the green light, and then obviously he left. What'd you hear about him?
I just heard at halftime that he was out for the rest of the game, and that's all. I mean, I didn't get any detail.
Steve, we talked a lot about focus and execution the last couple of games in Indy and Milwaukee. How did you think the guys responded specific to those two elements tonight?
Really well in the first half, and then we let our guard down a little bit in the second half. But I thought the first half was great, 20 assists and 5 turnovers, and second half we turned it over 10 times. Just right out of the gate in the third quarter, we had a couple turnovers. And Phoenix did a great job. They're really playing hard and well organized. Book's playing at a really, really high level, and they're shooting 1,000,000 threes. So that's not an easy team to play against.
Question less basketball related. Prop 50 passed while you guys were playing tonight. I wondered if you had a comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, I voted for it today. I didn't love voting for it. But I felt it was necessary. So it's hopefully we can get back to a point where our democracy feels strong and healthy. It's not right now, and that's. But I like the way the law was phrased. That if the other states decide to go back to what's fair, then we will too. Then that's why I voted for it. Thank you.
Moses, tomorrow, no Steph, maybe no Jimmy in Sacramento. You guys have been in this position before, but how equipped do you think this group is to handle those losses for a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time doing it this year, but yeah, I think we'll be all right. We play that way in practice a lot of time in preseason. It'll be this group versus that group, and so we used to playing with each other a little bit. I think we got all the pieces we need.
What was the key for you tonight coming off the bench?
Coach made a big emphasis on playing with energy, crashing the boards, running in transition, and those are all the things that I like to do, and I think I do pretty well. So just putting the focus on that, I think that got a lot of things going.
Moses, you're shooting about 45% from three, and it's got to go up after tonight. I was wondering, did you make any mechanical adjustments to your shot or any sort of changes over the offseason to the way you shoot?
I did make a tiny change. It'll be hard to explain without me kind of really breaking everything down, but just one little small thing to get a little pop under it. But, yeah, other than that, just a lot of work.
You finished the season last as a starter on a really, really strong lineup. This season, it doesn't start out that way. Kerr mentioned it. It's like it just obviously didn't start out great for you, just in terms of starting, whatever the minutes. You're used to this. We've all seen you go up and down. But was this any different? You're in a great starting lineup. Season starts. You're not in the starting lineup again.
I think it's part of life. Stuff goes your way, stuff doesn't go your way. I guess that's why I got the nickname "Stay Ready, Mo." You just no matter what the situation is, you got to deal with it, and I think that's where we're at. So day by day.
I think you've talked about finding rhythm in certain combinations, certain groups. In the groups that were working with you tonight, what was sort of working well with the shooting and the rhythm there?
I think when you do all the other things, then stuff tends to go good for you. So that's running in transition, that's rebounding, that's playing defense. So I think when you run the floor hard, a lot of times you just happen to be open, and probably because you were down there before everybody else was and you were set. So just connecting the game and doing all of the small things, and then the big things go well.
Moses, the way they made their run in the third quarter, what was said in between the third quarter and the fourth to kind of maybe reset you guys to whether you guys go on that 15-3 run to kind of help close it out during the middle of the fourth?
Wake-up call. Throughout a game, when you're winning like that, it's a test to yourself, your attention span, being able to put a whole game together, stay locked in, keep doing the small things even when you're up by 20. So I think at that point it's a bigger game. We're playing against ourselves than the other team, because as you've seen the last couple of games, just letting our guard down and playing down to the situation sometimes. And so I think that was a test for the night. So I'm glad we were able to stick together and put the whole thing together.
Cool. Thank you. We'll have Quinten up here.
Thank you.
Quentin, what was working today for you?
For me, I think the pick and pop was working, especially early on. They had a 5 on me, so that opened up. And as a team, always helps when you make shots. I thought, especially in the first half, we did a good job of taking the 3-ball out. In the second half, we kind of let them loose, struggle on the glass a little bit towards the end. But it's always tough when a team shoots a lot of threes to getting those long rebounds. But in general, we kept them to 107 points. Not too bad. I thought we did a good job defensively. Kind of let up in the third quarter a little bit, but we recovered well.
When we were talking to Moses about the let up in the second half, especially the third quarter, he used the phrase like attention span. Is that a term that you guys use behind the scenes? Is that something that you think about just in terms of like keeping your focus throughout a game?
I think Moses is really good with his words. That's not really one of our terms, but I understand what he's saying. Like when you're up 20 at half, and you're playing and you play a good half, it is sometimes hard to kind of keep that focus. But in the modern NBA, with teams shooting so many threes, and obviously you're playing against real good players every night, you can't let up, and that is kind of what happened a little bit. But we bounced back. I thought we locked in towards the fourth, and we finished out the game.
Good response. Could you repeat that again?
Oh.
Yesterday, you talked about needing more communication on the defensive side of things. How do you guys feel like you did communication-wise defensively?
I think a lot better. They did a lot of guard-to-guard action, and I think our switching, modern basketball is all about switching and scrambling, and I thought we did a lot better job than our last road trip.
Quinten, speaking of the road trip, those 2 games where you guys blew the leads late because of turnovers and they, like the attention span, the focus issue. What was the difference tonight? Was there anything said after or in between the third and the fourth quarter to kind of reset you guys to this way that didn't happen the third game in a row where you guys blew a big lead?
Like you said, the turnovers, we had 15 in total. I think probably want to keep it under 12, but 15 isn't a bad number for us. We definitely have had worse, and I do think getting Steph the ball in those in that fourth quarter kind of had us settled. I felt like we did a good job of making that game our own and not letting it slip away from us.
When Steph was up at the podium, he was coughing and sneezing pretty badly. You could tell he was sick. I was wondering during the game, could you see that he was struggling or battling through that illness?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I saw him struggle to get his breath, but he battled through it. He was still huge for us, and he's Steph, and he won us that game.
Also, Jimmy goes down at halftime, doesn't come back in the second half. Does that maybe create a little emotional letdown to start that third quarter, and maybe how they were able to get back in when you don't have Jimmy on the floor like that?
Yeah, I mean, no excuses. Obviously, it always hurts when one of your best players goes down. But I wouldn't say that was the reason for the letdown. It's also just kind of part of basketball, right? Like it's never going to be a linear game. There's always going to be swings. And obviously it hurts if Jimmy goes down, but it's on us to keep our cool and keep our attention span and finish the game.
Great.
Thank you guys.
Oh, inside the chase hitter. So, Quinten, tell us about the center productivity of you and Trace Jackson-Davis tonight. As a tandem, you guys were fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I was resting tonight, and me and Trace got the call. So I thought we both did well. Rebounded the ball, and played a good game.
4 of 6 on threes. You guys went back to your pick and pop countless times there, and you were knocking those down. How confident are you in that play, and enjoy doing it over and over again when it's working?
Yeah, it's great when the shots go in, but it's something I work on every day. So it felt good.
What was the mindset coming in tonight? Couple rough games on that road trip, wanting to turn things around. Coming into this game, give me kind of the team mindset.
Obviously not the road trip we wanted, but good chance to turn it around. And the Suns, they're a young, energetic team that like to run the floor and shoot a lot of threes. So kind of a similar game that we just played. So I think we had a great day of practice yesterday. We sharpened some of our tools, and I think we were ready to play.
How tough was defensive rebounding, especially down the stretch there? You had 6 rebounds for yourself. They impacted the game with their offensive rebounds, guys coming in, flying in there. They got desperate, but you guys fought hard down the stretch and grabbed those defensive rebounds.
It's always tough when a team shoots a lot of threes, long rebounds. And then it's just, you got to box out. You got to do it as a team, 5-man rebounding, but I thought we did a good job.
Hey, we'll let you go with this. You're undefeated at home. How good is it playing in front of Dub Nation?
I thought our crowd was really good tonight. Really needed everybody. After being on the road, always feels good to be back in the Bay. So, thank you, Dub Nation.
All right, hey, Quinten, we combined you guys. We had Trace Jackson-Post today, TJP as the center spot.
I like that. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping. We appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Quinten Post, fantastic from deep. Trace was handling the rebounding and scoring inside.
Well, Pat, what did you guys take to heart from that tough road trip to start this game with a huge first quarter and never give up that lead?
Yeah, on the road we played a couple teams that were missing, some key guys, and we feel like the Suns are a great ball club, but you can't take those kinds of teams lightly. So, the message was pretty clear. We took a couple teams pretty lightly. We paid for it. So, props to our starters for coming out, taking care of business early on, setting the tone.
And 63 points from the bench tonight. What kind of duty or even excitement do you guys feel to keep that lead and then build it?
Yeah, we all have each other's back. We spend so much time together, and the veterans have been together so long. But you can just feel the energy. Every game it's someone new. Last game it was Guy, came in, gave us a real big spark. So every game it's going to be someone else's number called, and it's just about staying ready and being professional.
You were one of those guys who stayed ready. You had some assists on Moses' 3. You had 2 steals of your own. What is it like for you to drop into this game and make your presence felt?
Yeah, I feel great right now. We're so deep that it's hard as a competitor to not get frustrated, but ultimately it's about keeping your game sharp and just being ready when your number is called. I've tried to do that year in and year out, and quite frankly, my game feels at an all-time high right now. So just waiting for my number to get called. Like I said, we're super deep. You can see it every night. We've got a bunch of guys that can make a bunch of different plays. So it's just about being ready.
Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, thank you.